I know by now it was pretty much established that Nightwing is better than or equal to Batman, and anyone who would ever disagree with this is a savage and an idiot. But I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw someone record Nightwing's wins and losses against Batman, and I was more interested in the recent wins and losses against Batman, because both times Batman is ragdolling Nightwing, he's being jumped by the Bat family. I feel like they should stop doing that if they want people to assume Nightwing is equal to Batman. I mean, it kind of undermines the whole message, even though there are countless statements for years stating as such. I want to talk about Batman vs. Robin number 3. Now, anytime I see something interesting about comics on TikTok or YouTube, I just go read it immediately. So I read this like 1 through 4 at least, just to get some kind of context of why Batman was fighting Nightwing, and just to give a very bare minimum explanation of what's going on. Basically, this dude named the Devil Ninja comes back. He was imprisoned by Batman and Superman in some other comic. He basically possesses Damian and gets control of the whole Bat family. And they run this like gauntlet. Batman goes through each member of the Bat family before he gets to Damian. Now, honestly, just for a side note real quick, this is like the best part of the comic to me, just because they're all airing their grievances, things they haven't actually said to Batman that they hold deep down. And instead of like trying to make excuses, he's kind of doubting himself and realizing in one way or another, he could have been a better parent to every single one of these ex-Robins. And basically, he just wasn't a perfect parent, and he does accept that as he slowly beats them. But as he's beating each member of the Bat family, he gets injured. I think when he fights Tim, he hurts his shoulder. He fights Jason and Stephanie Brown together, he gets like a concussion, some broken ribs. I mean, he is worse for wear, and then he fights Nightwing. And this is what's even crazier to me. A pre-injured Batman starts to feel overwhelming guilt because of the sword Nightwing is using. It's basically playing with his emotions. So he starts to allow Nightwing to beat the hell out of him. He says right here, "I don't deserve to win here. Who am I to fight them, punish them, simply for," and then he starts to realize that the sword is playing with his emotions. He starts to fight back, and eventually by using this kinda sorta fake Alfred, he's able to defeat Nightwing, smacking the shit out of him and knocking him unconscious. This is what I found kinda crazy, because this is someone who's supposed to be equal to or better than him. He's pre-injured, he allowed himself to get more injured, and he's still able to win after using like one surprise attack and knocking Nightwing out. Not only should Nightwing not have to jump Batman, of course I know he's possessed, but I'm just saying in general when they make these comics, I don't think they should have the Bat family jumping Batman with Nightwing, because that should be overkill, should it not? Nightwing should be the answer to Batman. And I feel that way anytime I see Batman going through the gauntlet with his family, which I feel like has been happening a little too often recently. We gotta chill on this. But anytime he goes through his family, I'm like, he's going to dog his entire family. He's about to shit on everybody he trained. And by no means am I making this video saying Batman and Nightwing are not equal or that Nightwing isn't better. I'm simply saying comics don't do a very good job at showing that when they actually face each other, at least not recently. Now, before I move on to the other comic, I wanted to let you guys know this is the comic Batman vs. Robin number 3. It came out in 2022. Batman gets an actual official goodbye to Alfred before he moves on to the afterlife. That's why I call this a kinda sorta fake Alfred, because although it was a possession, to use this possession, the Devil Ninja had to take a piece of Alfred's actual soul and put it into the body. So once the Devil Ninja is removed, it is actually Alfred, but he is fading away fast. So he speaks to Batman and he lets him know that he knows he doesn't blame Damian for his death, he blames himself. And of course, Alfred, being an amazing father, does not like this, and he tells Bruce that he needs to move on. It wasn't his fault, he was half a world away, and he needs to heal this wound, because using this wound is how things have gotten so out of hand. And if he's able to try and move on from this, he can help save Damian. And then Batman says he misses him, and he lets him know, "We'll see each other again, your parents send their love." And then he officially moves on to the afterlife, happy and relieved that Batman can try and move on. So this is beautiful, and this has nothing to do with the Nightwing stuff, but for those of you who didn't know, he does actually get a proper goodbye to his father. Now, literally a year after this, in volume 3 of Batman, number 138, we get him fighting the Bat family again. This was last year. So I'm only bringing up the recent times he's fought the entire Bat family along with Nightwing. And once again, he ragdolls everybody and even makes pretty easy work of Nightwing. Now, although Batman makes some semi-decent points in terms of what the Bat family are doing in this comic, for the most part, he's the one tweaking this time, it's not the Bat family. So Nightwing jumps in trying to stop him, and he ends up breaking his batons and smacking the shit out of him, leaving him wobbled on the floor. Like I said, he makes pretty easy work of Nightwing. Now, after Nightwing gets back up and hits Batman with a sneak attack, a grapple hook to the back of the dome piece, they continue to start fighting. And my boy Tim Drake solos Damian, even though he admits he can't beat him hand to hand. He still wins, I love this win, but we get another continuation of Nightwing fighting Batman. only to get swatted away again when he grabs a car door with his metal hand and smashes Nightwing in the face with it. This leads Tim to jump in and smack Batman, so now he's being jumped, after swatting away Nightwing twice. And after absolutely obliterating Tim Drake, Nightwing comes back again with a sneak attack and starts to get the upper hand, and Tim makes him stop. This is when Batman gets up, subdues them both, and leaves. And before I end this video, I want to talk about Titans Beast World number 2, where Batman is turned into a werewolf, and Nightwing again states that Batman seems to have all his skills still, but what we see is Batman hacking and slashing like a monster, and then he tries to bite Nightwing. They go into the water, and Nightwing comes out of the water the winner. Not only is this clearly not normal Batman with all his faculties intact, but all we see is him slashing like a monster. He tries to bite Nightwing, and then they go into the water and Nightwing just wins. I'm not saying it's not impressive, but this is one of those times I'm talking about where a statement does not match what we see. Nightwing states this Batman is just as skilled, but last time I checked, Batman doesn't try to bite Nightwing. This seems like one of those times where we're supposed to just hold on to a statement. We see Batman swinging like a monster, like a dog, and then he just loses and we're like, see, Nightwing solos. This is what I mean when I say comics don't do a good job of showing us what they say. He said it, but it didn't really seem like Batman was anywhere near as skilled as he usually is, and he's immediately obliterated by Nightwing. They don't do a very good job of showing that they're equal to each other. This is my issue. Not that I'm saying Nightwing is weaker than Batman or that the statements are wrong. Statements are statements, they're in the comics, GG. All I'm saying is the statements and the actions contradict when it comes to Nightwing, and if they want people to believe that Nightwing is equal to or greater than Batman, I feel like when they're jumping him, Nightwing just shouldn't be there. Or when he's there, maybe they can win for once. It shouldn't be even close with Nightwing being present and a bunch of extremely skilled Robins. It's just odd that every time this happens, Batman stomps everybody and then leaves. Now I know in terms of like the comic book industry, it's Batman, like it's the Batman. He's probably not gonna lose to his entire family, people he trained. He's got the popularity on his side, a little sprinkle of plot armor. So odds are they're never really gonna make Nightwing surpass Batman because he's the goddamn Batman. But if that's the case, like I said, either stop having all this statement saying Nightwing is equal to him or remove Nightwing from jumping Batman so that the wins actually make sense. Because for me, they don't make any sense. I still believe Nightwing is equal to or greater than Batman, but the comics are not doing a very good job at showing this in my opinion. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. I hope y'all enjoyed the video and I will catch you on the next one.